Hey guys, Brian here with Life in Hyperspace. Today we're going to break down a couple different things. First off, there's new toys coming for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie that comes out on May 22nd that we did talk about. New toys means more merch for the fans, and there's some pretty cool stuff like that. I can say there is some really cool stuff that I'm excited that I might even pick up. But second off, the other thing we are going to talk about today as well that you might have heard about is the new characters that are coming to Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland. And by new characters, I mean the original characters: Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia. They're going to feed into the current storyline that they have with Rey and Poe and Finn and stuff like that. So stay tuned. Let's jump into this and let's see what we got going on tonight. All right, guys. First up, we were going to talk about toys. Everybody loves talking about toys. Can't even really complain about that. So we do have the first set of toys that are coming for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie that are coming out in May. Again, May 22nd of this year. These were released at Toy Fair in New York back in February. So all of this information that I'm going to be feeding you today is coming from the Star Wars website, so I can verify that it is good information for you. So let's go ahead and jump in and kind of take a look at what we got here. First off, we got a video on TikTok here to show you guys kind of from the exclusive first look of the night that they did in New York for some of the toys that they've got. So let's jump in and take a look at that.
Oh, wow. Look at him. Hey, guy.
Star Wars is like linked to the toys. You'd see it in the theater, and then you and your friends would get the toys and you'd play. Like that was how the story would continue. You'd act it out again.
All right. So kind of just a little bit of a look of what is coming here. Super excited for that. So jumping right off the bat here, obviously we're going to have Funko Pops. There's Funko Pops for anything and everything. You can see some of them behind me. There's Funko Pops for everything. You can make Funko Pops of yourself now at this point. So we knew Star Wars was going to release some new Funko Pops for this. You've got the Mandalorian with the child. You've got Grogu, and you also are going to have Zeb with the Razor Crest. Zeb's also a new character in the movie, and it's going to be a different Razor Crest. If you remember during the show, Death Troopers got away with the baby. Boom, blew up the ship just so he couldn't follow them into transport. Those are available for pre-sale on Funko.com and select retailers on February 14th. Now moving on to the next one here, you got what they're calling the Action Buddy Grogu, and that's done by Hasbro. So this toy is going to have over 50 sounds, different movement combos, reactions, just a little bit of everything to kind of make this feel as authentic as possible for you as the customer buying the toy. It looked pretty cool from you kind of saw Favreau kind of play with it a little bit in that TikTok video there. So I'm pretty excited. That one looks like it could be pretty fun here. Moving on. This one I'm super excited for. And this is the remote control AT-AT Walker and the remote control AT-RT Walker. Now, those are going to be fully functional AT-AT and AT-RTs that'll stand about 13, 14 inches tall. Fully functional, different things to mimic the march from the movies. I mean, you can kind of see I'm reading based off of this here. Kind of giving a nod towards the Clone Wars animation, stuff like that. So as somebody who's built one of the droids from Disneyland in Galaxy's Edge, this very much kind of looks the same. I'm very excited for it. I do like remote control stuff. So I'm excited to see this one. I'm not 100% sure when this one's getting released. I do know that they have a speeder, I believe, that was being released as a Disneyland exclusive. It might be a Disney World too, but don't quote me. I'm not a worlder. I am a Disneyland guy. So that's kind of where that is sitting. Moving on, there is always something for everybody. You know how Star Wars is for anybody, ranges 0 to 100 plus. These are little tiny, I guess, car seat toys that you can kind of hook onto the car seat. and it gives a little fun toy for the babies, toddlers, kids to play with. Heck, I've got a buddy who's a grown adult. I'm a grown adult, and I wouldn't complain having those. Things are cool. So really anybody can get them, but they are the Mandalorian and Grogu baby toy collection. Excuse me. Moving on, obviously we're going to have Legos. Always going to have Legos. There's never a chance that you're not going to have them. Razor Crest is going to be back in the new fashion that they have. Again, that yellow stripe. Remember, it used to be completely silvered out. Now it's got that yellow stripe on it. So that's going to be a new set that's coming on there. It looks like you're getting 5 characters, possibly 6. Looks like you're getting Mando, you're getting a Colonel, you're getting Zeb, you're getting an Imperial Remnant Stormtrooper, and you're getting Grogu. So it looks like you are getting 5 different characters there. Now moving on, obviously everybody loves a good little plush. It's a basic plush for Grogu with his different look. Just a perfect little cuddle buddy if you're looking for a gift for a Star Wars fan that, you know, maybe is between the ages of 10 to 16, or if you got a buddy that's an adult and you want to get it for them, you can get it for them too. There's no harm, no foul in it. I'm not going to judge you for it at all. I do think these fan drops are pretty cool here. This is the Mandalorian and Grogu Ice Planet Chase set. So they've come out with quite a few of these with the different artifacts you can find in it. So they come in with a box that's there. They have like a common one, a rare one, and an ultra rare one. The ultra rare is like super metallic. They're just super rare to get, essentially. Hence the name super rare. Now these are pretty cool just because it kind of has a poster that you're going to see too, and a little action figure with kind of a background going with it. And obviously you'll get the artifact inside as well. Super, super cool. You can kind of see it there. It's just, you can pull it out of the box. It's going to come in that exact diorama for you. And it's just a cool, fun toy. Next, moving on, Pop Mart is doing a Grogu Tiny But Mighty series. Automatically, right off the bat, I see a fire-bending Grogu. I mean, right here. You're kind of looking at a firebender right here. You got Sleepy Grogu, Meditation, Hyper Grogu all around the board. So, obviously, super excited for these. I think they're kind of fun little, pocket grabs that you can get and put on display somewhere, your desk, at work, at home, and a display case behind you as you're doing things. There's multiple different places that you can put them, but they're fun little tiny toys that you can play with here. Now, all of you people who do love to cook, this next one had me super excited when I did see it. It is a Mandalorian cookbook. Now, this isn't going to come out until fall of 2026. I'm sure you could probably pre-order it here a little bit closer to the summertime that we get. But you're going to have a whole bunch of different recipes, over 70, I believe. Yes. So you're going to have 70 different recipes on this. And I mean, I am super excited for what we're looking at here. You've got, I'm sure if it's anything like the Star Wars cookbook that they did originally, you're going to have main courses, appetizers, desserts, drinks, snacks, all of the above. There might even be alcoholic drinks in there. I'm not sure. For you 21 plus people that do partake in that, make sure you are 21 and please be responsible when you do that. But really excited for the cookbook. Moving on here. Obviously, Disney's going to jump in on this with something. This isn't the only thing they're doing, but a lot of the stuff they're doing is exclusive to Disneyland and Disney World, kind of to get people to go into the locations that they have. So they already have the Droid Factory droids that you can get, and those are like the R2, R3 units that you can get. Now they're going to do a little bit of a spin on it with the BDX droids. Obviously, like I said, they're the extension to the ongoing action figure series they have. But the BDX droids you can kind of remember are in Star Wars Fallen Jedi, or Jedi Fallen Order, excuse me, brain fart, where he has his BD unit. And so it's going to kind of be a take on that. Curious to see if the BDX units will be in the new Mandalorian movie. Obviously, if these are just being released and not when the original game came out for Jedi Fallen Order, they're probably going to be in the movie. That's kind of my best guess for you there. But we're going to have to kind of see what happens. But yeah, that's pretty much everything for toys. Let's jump over here and let's take a look at what we've got in store for Disneyland over here, folks. Come with. All right, guys. Now, I did tell you that there was some changes coming to Disneyland. And I'm not talking ride changes. Well, I take that back. There are some ride changes, just not to the ride that you might think that they're doing it to. No set changes. They're not changing the layout of Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland if you've been there, but they are adding the original trilogy into Galaxy's Edge. That's including Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia. Obviously, you're going to get the original Stormtroopers. You're going to get Darth Vader in there. And that is coming April 29th. So that is the end of next month that it is moving in there. Obviously, just in time for Star Wars Night. May the 4th be with you. Revenge of the 5th that's coming to Galaxy's Edge there. So as you can see, they are expanding the timeline. They're going to introduce a lot of different aspects to the original film trilogy, so that you can see Darth Vader, Stormtroopers walking through the street with Han Solo and Chewbacca. Obviously, you have Chewbacca already at Disneyland as it is walking around with Rey, but now you're going to get to see him reunite with Han Solo originally there as well. Apparently, we're going to get a little bit of a music change as well there. You know that we have kind of 789's music style that John Williams wrote. That, don't get me wrong, John Williams is a god, creates masterpieces. But the original 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we know how there's a certain sound to that. That as soon as you hear it, you're like, yep, that's Star Wars. I know it immediately. That's going to be going on during the park as well here. So I'm sure you're probably asking, well, I've been to Disneyland. I know Galaxy's Edge. I know how that looks. How are they going to fit in the original trilogy? Well, the original timeline placed in Batuu during, obviously, the Resistance and the First Order, which is between Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker. The new timeline is going to back up several decades, which is also going to span the events of Return to the Jedi and The Mandalorian. So you can kind of see here as we're going through, the Galaxy's Edge first came out in 2019. That's when it was first released to the public. It was a massive hit. But I'm sure all along, and I can't quote on this, this is probably kind of just my opinion on it, but personally, I kind of guess that all along, Disney knew that it was going to have to change eventually on that, because you were going to, obviously, you have all these younger people that go to Star Wars because they've seen 7, 8, 9. But then you've got the older generation that they come in and they go, well, what the heck is this? I'm sure they've seen them. I've seen them. But that's not what they grew up with. We grew up with episodes 1 through 6. I grew up with the Clone Wars. I grew up with Mandalorian, stuff like that. So they knew that was going to have to be expanded on to be able to retain, I guess, the customers that are coming in to explore that area. And you can see right here, just a quote here from, I'm going to try and say her name, Asa Kalama, who's the Vice President Executive for the Creative and Interactive Experiences at Disney Imagineering. And she said, and I quote here, ever since Black Spire Outpost welcomed its first visitors in 2019, the land has been growing and changing, adding new characters, attractions, and special events. This new timeline shift is the next chapter in the ever-expanding story of Batuu. We've always seen Star Wars Galaxy's Edge as a platform for storytelling, a land that would continue to live and grow and evolve. Now, I'm super excited for this, like I said, as somebody who's been a die-hard Star Wars fan his whole life. But there's also going to be not just character updates, But you're also going to be looking at shops and land updates itself. Now, I know we're all like, but you just said there wasn't going to be land updates. Well, stay tuned. We got more to talk about here. So you can see here, April 2026. I did say at the end of April, Darth Vader is going to be there with his stormtroopers. You can see in this picture right here, they're explaining that everybody knew Vader had to be there. Vader is going to essentially, as you can see here, Vader's search for Luke Skywalker brings him to Black Spire Outpost, and visitors may cross paths with the powerful Sith Lord near the TIE Fighter, or in the new ones, they're called the TIE Echelons. It's always going to be a TIE Fighter forever and ever for me. But you can see here that you're not only going to have the TIE Fighter, you're going to have the TIE Echelon, you're going to have Darth Vader, you're going to have Kylo Ren, you're going to have Mandalorian. You know, you're looking at different things here. Now, one thing that I did not notice here is they were going to talk about, Luke Skywalker was going to have an appearance, Han Solo, Princess Leia. But one thing that's curious here is they do say, they were talking about how Han Solo is going to wear his iconic vest while Leia rocks a battle-ready white outfit, her hair being up in a practical crown braid, similar to how she wore it in Hoth on The Empire Strikes Back. Stated here by Matt Martin, who's Lucasfilm's senior creative executive, this is Leia's adventure look. It's inspired by some comic book appearances from this era, as well as the look that she had in Star Wars Battlefront 2, the video game. That right there, I didn't read that, didn't see that originally. I liked Star Wars Battlefront 2. I know, unpopular opinion, Brian. Oh my God, how could you like the game when EA screwed us over? Screw EA. This isn't about EA. This is about Star Wars alone. I thought the game itself was really good. But we're looking here, it says right here, and of course, Vader, Han, Luke, and Leia won't be the only characters you're going to encounter. You're going to get Rey, R2-D2, Ahsoka Tano, Chewbacca. They're going to remain as possible characters. Chewie and Han being together on the Falcon. Wink, wink. Going back here. Also, you're still going to have Mandalorian and Grogu. But this is where we talk about when I said there's going to be changes to a ride. And it's not going to be Rise of the Resistance like you think I'm talking about. We're talking about Smuggler's Run. And that's the ride that kind of you go in on the west side or the left side of the Millennium Falcon. And you kind of go around the back of it. You go upstairs and it's all, done with. You've got the pilot, the gunner, stuff like that. They're doing a different change here starting in May. And I'm excited because this is getting released just a couple days before I do head out to Disneyland. So I'm going to get to try it. Hopefully get to share a little bit of it with you guys here. But essentially it's going to be just like Smuggler's Run originally, except for you're going to team up with Mandalorian and Grogu to track down Imperial officers and claim a bounty on them. So that one's looking really, really excited here. There's not going to be too much changes coming to Galaxy's Edge itself. Obviously you can see here, you are going to get some, so the only ones that we did have a pretty massive shutdown for Rise of the Resistance. We thought, oh, okay, we just announced new information. Rise of the Resistance closing. Are we going to get any customer-facing changes? No. The only thing they did was apply a new fresh coat of paint on all of the guardrails. They redid some of the rocks. So I guess if you really want to nitpick it and say that there was some customer-facing changes, sure. Obviously, whatever. But they are saying here that there is some changes. So one of the biggest changes coming to the existing First Order cargo, which if you remember, that is the shop that's just to the left of the TIE Echelon where Kylo Ren and now Darth Vader will be doing their little fights or communications right there. So that is going to be, instead of the First Order cargo, it's going to be under the name Black Spire Surplus. Excuse me. So over there, it's going to be sort of a military supply shop packed with exclusive offerings from around the world. You're going to see things from the Rebels. You're going to see things from the Empire. It'll be your one-stop shop for faction gear. So we're talking Rebels. We're talking Empire. We're talking the First Order. We're talking all of the above for this. Obviously, I wouldn't be surprised if you see some Mandalorian stuff in there too. Kind of curious to see what that one um added a little bit of a backstory to it. Martin, who was the one we talked about earlier, that was talking about the Princess Leia outfit style, also said that the Black Spire surplus was founded by two former clone troopers who fought alongside each other in the Clone Wars and became close friends. Years later, one of those soldiers joined the Empire to serve as a stormtrooper while the other signed up with the Rebellion. But as they got older, they decided to retire and team up as friends and business partners, opening their new venture on Batuu, which is really kind of a cool backstory to it if you think about it. You're going to get some updates here from Savi's workshop, Droid Depot. You will see some changes here from Olga's Cantina. I know that is actively, as we speak, currently closed to the public as they do the refitting for it. There's no exact time when that's going to be done, but obviously we know it'll be done before May. I'm sure it'll be done probably by the end of March, hopefully. Obviously, we're getting new music around the area, so it's not going to be kind of your dark style music that you see here, but I have a feeling that it's going to be a lot more of the original style music. So here's a little clip here for what they're releasing here. So super, super exciting to see that they are going all in on this retrofit essentially. They are adding characters, they're adding music, they're adding merch, they're adding ride stuff. They are making you want to feel even more immersed than you already are. I mean, when you walk underneath that bridge where that train's coming through for Disneyland and you're like, "Oh my god, I'm actually here. This is it. I'm content. I can die here and I'd be at peace." It's true. That's how I felt the first time, second time, third time. Every time that I walked into that section, it was like, okay, I'm at peace here. I could die and I'm a happy man. So the fact that they are going over every single detail to make sure it is as authentic for us as the people attending Disneyland, thank you. Super excited. Like I said, I have not physically been out there. I'm heading out there at the end of May, Memorial Day week. I will be out there, so I'm hoping to grab some good footage, pictures, stuff like that, get to share it with you guys. But for now, we're all going to just have to close our eyes and pretend we know what we're seeing, obviously in a galaxy a long time ago, far, far away. So that's pretty much all we got for today, guys. I greatly appreciate you sitting through me being super boring with you, kind of just nerding out here for a bit. So again, thank you for being here. And until I catch you on the next one, enjoy life in the hyperspace.